Hello and welcome to this Unreal Engine tutorial. So today this is going to be my first tutorial, so for any suggestions you can comment down below and let me see what you think. And what we'll be going over today is like how to import your character from Sketchfab, set up textures, create animation blueprint, and also blend space. So if I press the W to move forward, it can walk around, and if you press Shift, it can run. So let's go for the first step. Step 1, choose your model. So basically I chose a model from Sketchfab. You can type on Google sketchfab.com and search for any model that it's rigged to the UE4 mannequin, UE4 skeleton of Unreal Engine, which is, I chose this one because it looks cool. And make sure it has this icon because you can download it for free. And if you come down to here at the bottom, you can download the 3D model. And here at the bottom, it says that this model is rigged to the UE4 skeleton. And there you go, it looks cool. And also I'm gonna leave the animations. So you can set up the walk and run and jump animations and also idle. Tips if you want to download another model. If you want to download another model and use the same animation pack I dropped in the description below, you gotta choose another model on Sketchfab that has to be rigged to the UE4 skeleton like this robot is already. So you're going to be able to use the same animations on another model. So as you can see, like if you press play here, we're going to get the default character. And you can walk, run, jump perfectly fine. And we're going to try to replace this character with a robot. Step 2, import your character. So once you've downloaded the 3D model from the Sketchfab, you can come here and go to click on here, right click, show more options if you're using Windows 11, extract to UE4, this folder here, and let's delete this zip folder. We don't need it anymore. And now let's go ahead and click on this, go to source. We can extract this. Right here. And now let's go back to our first things first. Let's go to the character, right click, new folder. Let's name this robot. Double click. And then we're gonna get the UE4 mannequin skeleton. Let's actually rename this to robot. And drag and drop. Click on the import all. We can delete this robot skeleton, we don't need it. And right click on robot and skeleton, assign skeleton. Type here UE4. So it's gonna assign to the UE4 mannequin. So that's gonna be our step 2. Step 3, set up textures. Right click. Let's choose material. Let's call this robot matte. Let's create a new folder. Let's name this material. So now let's drag and drop this to material folder. Now let's go back to the folder. We can delete this texture UE and go inside the textures and basically drag and drop those into here. Let's open our robot matte. We can drag this window here. And here you have our textures. Let's simply select them all and drag and drop here. Okay. Now you gotta connect the pins to the textures. This is base color, RGB. And this is roughness. There you go, hit save. Okay, so our material is ready for use. And As you can see here, if you press on robot, there is no textures. So you can select the texture of the model that we named as robot. Select that. And now our textures are loaded up. Close this. If you drag and drop your character, you can see how it looks like in the world. Step 4. Import the animations. Okay, so now we're going to need the animations for our character to run and walk. Now, this step might be confusing for some, but you just got to move the animations pack folder to your root content folder of your project. So now we're going to have to move our animations pack to your root content folder. So you're going to have to find your root content folder of your project on your Windows Explorer. Have to Ctrl V. So it has to be inside. It has to be inside of the content folder, because otherwise it's not going to show up for you here. Maybe not. Yes. So you can see all content, and there you have the animations. I just placed it in. Okay, so click on animations. It already appeared for me. And now we have it. So we can close out of that. So if you click on here and click on preview mesh, we're going to get our robot. Preview mesh set to temporary. We can click on apply to asset. And that's going to be for the step 3. Step 4. Set up animations. Now that we checked the animations are working properly, we're going to create an animation blueprint. So go to animations, right click, and we're going to create a new animation blueprint of the UE4 character always. Let's hit create, and let's call this robot underline repeat. Let's hit enter. This is going to be our animation blueprint. And let's go to the third person map again. So now we're going to learn how to replace the mesh, the default mesh, to our robot mesh. So let's do that right now. All you got to do is just got to go to the third person folder, blueprints, and access the PP third person character. Let's go here in the viewport, click on that, click on the mesh. So if we go down here, skeletal mesh, we can use our robot. So for that, we need the animation blueprint. The one that we already created is here, robot PP. But we didn't place anything inside this. We didn't set up the rules, state machines, anything. So we're gonna do that right now. For that, let's create an animation blend space 1D. So this is going to be our walk and run blend space. So this is going to allow us to go from walk and run inside the animation blueprint. So let's grab our walk forward, ALS N. Okay, run forward, impulse, and let's name this speed. Click on snap to grid. Smoothing time 0.4 is a good value. Linear. So, okay, smoothing time 0.4 value, and the smoothing type linear. So if you press Ctrl and hold it and move the mouse, you're gonna see the simulation. So here we're gonna choose 900. Oh my god. Let's set this up quick. So if you press Ctrl and hold it, we're gonna see the simulation going here. So if the speed is like 900, you're gonna have the impulse. Now we're gonna learn how to set up the animation states inside the animation blueprint. So inside this event graph, we're gonna write the code that it's gonna be accessed by the animation graph. So yeah, that's basically it. So we need the code. We need the code. Yes. Let's get the code. So if you go inside the animation blueprint of the default character ABP, many, so you can basically copy all of this, and then we can go to the event graph of our robot blueprint, paste it in. Now let's choose preview mesh and select our robot. So for the next step, we're going to copy the variables. The reason why we have those errors is because the engine is trying to read the variables that does not exist in our code. So we can basically copy all those variables from the other window by pressing Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V on the other side. So this is going to save us a ton of time when creating a complete new setup for animation blueprint for a character. So that is going to be our tip for the day. And now that we compile, save, now we should have the variables properly set up. Okay. We can close ABP menu now and then drag it here. So now we're going to create a new state machine. So new state machine, new state machine. Enter, hit enter. Let's call this Locomotion. Drag this pen. We're going to name this default slot. So this default slot here is going to allow us to play any montages later. It's good to have that. Okay, so let's compile. So we're gonna get a warning here. That's because we don't have anything set up inside of here. So type idle. We're gonna get the idle animation and drag this. And when we compile, we have the idle animation going on. And if we press play, we have the idle animation. But if we move, we don't have the walk and run properly set up. So to do that, we're going to drag and drop our walk and run. So we're going to go from idle to walk and run. So connect idle to walk run. And inside of this rule, we're going to write the code that it's going to allow us to, let's say, if the speed of our character is greater or equal than 0.3, then it means that the character is moving. So if the character is moving, the transition is true, and then it can enter the transition. It's going to return a bool value, and then it can enter the transition of walk and run. Now, but if we stop, if we are standing still, if we are running or walking, and we stop, it's gonna go back to idle. So let's drag the walk run to the idle. Let's go here to the rule. Let's drag our ground speed, here, and we have to get less or equal than 0.3. And if it's less than 0.3, it means that the character is standing still. It's not moving. So we're gonna get the enter transition of idle. So let's play. And as you can see, if I press W, it moves forward. If I stop, it moves back to idle. So that's basically it. Now let's set up our sprint code. So let's go to the third person character. And here for like adding a new comment, you can come here and write add comment. And then we can stretch this out. I'm going to rename this as sprint. We can choose the color as well. Just to get things more clean, we're gonna choose the color and put it right there. And then let's just right click and add left shift. So if you press left shift, we're gonna run. So let's get the max aux speed. Remember to uncheck the context sensitive. And we're gonna set. So now we're gonna set the max aux speed right there. Let's drag our character movement to the target. So let's just copy this and paste. Let's plug into released. So when you press left shift, we're gonna set the max aux speed to 900. And when you release the shift, we're gonna go back to max aux speed to 600. So let's go back to the robot BP. Let's access the walk and run. And let's get the ground speed and plug it into that speed. There we go, compile, and then save. We can hit run. So as you can see, when I press the left shift, I can run pretty much fine. So now we're gonna learn how to do the jump animations. Okay, so now let's set up the jump animations, okay? All right, so let's get the jump start first. Let's get jump start first, all right? Let's jump start. All right, jump start, and let's get the loop animation. Loop. Okay, that's pretty much enough. So let's connect first idle to jumpstart and jumpstart to loop and loop to walk run. Okay, so now first idle to jumpstart. When we are idle, for example, let's bring it. When we are idle like this, stand still, if we jump, we're gonna say if we are in the air, we can enter the transition. So if is falling is true, then it can enter the transition. So if we jump, we're gonna get the animation playing. And let's go for the copy jump start. Click on this, click on here, sequence player, and let's uncheck the lump animation. We don't want that. So now when we play, jump, we're gonna stop the animation. So that's good. So after we jump, we want to get the jump loop. So if we are on a high place, like right here, if we are on a high place like here, if we jump, there's gonna be some time that he's gonna be in the air. So what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna press on this and then choose automatic rule based on player in state. So when the jump start animation ends, we're gonna get the fall loop animation. So let's go from fall loop to walk run. We're gonna get again the is falling and is not falling. Boolean. Connect that. Okay. So the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna connect this to walk run to jump start, and we're gonna get the is falling. So if we are walking, and then jump, we're gonna have to play the animation. So if is falling is true, it can enter the transition. So compile and hit play again. Jump. There we go. We jumped while we were walking, and now it's pretty much it. If we are standing still, we can jump and then it plays the animation, regardless of your current state. So I guess that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you soon.